C-Day, if you can hear me, we need you right now. Meme YouTubers are near extinction. Concludely and Noah's Noah can only keep it up for so long. I don't care if Fortnite's going stale. Upload something. I don't care if it's Call of Duty, Apex, even Minecraft. Just please give us a sign. You're our only hope.
You're garbage.
Turn this on and then you go over to your controller bar.
I'm going to be showing off my new edit button.
PC holds the walls while 60 tries and heals up.
You guys are so amazing. This mortar still awesome. Big boy found the sweet spot.
I'm not a virgin, I'm a male.
Hey, what's up guys, my name is Tamprd. In today's video we are going to be taking a look at the Season 4 patch notes, even though yes, I know it came out yesterday, and yes, my Warzone's updating right now. We're still going to take a look at the patch notes anyway, and we're going to see my initial thoughts on this. Lots of crazy stuff is happening so far. Apex is seeing a shift toward Olympus. Fortnite is now in Chapter 2 Season 7 and actually looks promising now, which I'll talk about in another video. Valorant could possibly have a new agent soon. Minecraft 1.17 has finally been released, and I'll talk about that in another video. And then there's Warzone. Your boy's gonna be having his hands full the whole time. Or I'll fold like C-Day did. That works too.
Garbage.
Enough stalling though, let's get straight into this. So we have Warzone Season 4, satellite crashes, craziness, new agents. Agents? Who the f am I kidding? Whatever, let's get straight into this. So for the playlist, we have Verdansk BR Resurgence Mini Trios. So they're basically adding, remember the Resurgence modes in Rebirth? They're essentially being added into Verdansk. And for those of you who are wondering if Rebirth Resurgence is gonna go, no it's not. In fact, they're keeping it as Resurgence squads. I personally could care less for Resurgence, but it's always nice trying every once in a while. Now for the event, Groundfall, a limited time event. So basically there's these 4 satellites that are scattered around the map. But yeah, they give you a bunch of items and a epic secondary weapon blueprint. Interesting. We don't know what weapon it'll be for. Hopefully it's for a weapon that actually means something. But then going down here we have the mode Verdansk Resurgence Mini. Yeah, that's basically Verdansk gonna be shrink down to fit 45 players into Resurgence. Most of you guys should know how this works. Battle Pass! Much like every other season, there's a new Battle Pass here. All I'm gonna say is prepare for clickbait YouTube videos about Battle Pass giveaways. But yeah, we have new operators here. We have the new operator Jackal. We probably have some new skins here and there as well. Some operator skins, weapon skins, you know. Red doors have appeared in Verdansk. Oh, so like the red doors from the Cold War campaign. Okay, that'll be pretty interesting. Downtown tower is now under management. New gulag hijacked. This plywood recreation of the yacht's central area will replace the current What? That was standoff in Season 3? I had no idea. Interesting, so this gulag will be hijacked. I can see there's the hot tub there, the central area. You can go off to the right as well. They're bringing back all the fan favorites. We also have the new satellite crash locations. Provnik Farmland, that's probably off to the right. Block 18, closer to the one sleepy village near the salt mines. I have no idea where that is. Block 16, airport control tower. Okay, so kind of like near the airport. The Gora Ridge, spanning between the Gora River between downtown Fire Station 12 and the Promenade Fairground. Oh, okay, I know where that is. So that's probably in between some fire station near downtown and then Promenade East. So yeah, satellite crash locations. And then in terms of the general stuff, oh my gosh, could it be 120 Hertz for PlayStation 5? Note you will need HDMI 2.1 in order to get 120 Hz in the first place. I still feel bad for console players because they don't have an FOV slider, but this is a start. Downed players who disconnect now provide kill credit and drop loot. Oh, okay, so like when someone leaves when you're like assassinating them, it'll count as a kill. That was an issue in Fortnite where Innocence like was chasing down someone and then the guy left, and so Innocence didn't get credit for the kill. It probably happened in other games, so it seems like this is going to be more of a common move. Good stuff, Raven. And then we have some new calling cards here. Of course, celebrating Pride Month. New vehicle, the dirt bike. So we have this thing right here. For those of you who played Fire Team Dirty Bomb and Cold War, you might be familiar with this vehicle. It is very fast. It is kind of hard to control, and it doesn't have good durability. Yeah, same health as like the ATV right there. And it seems harder to put a trophy system on that thing, but but yeah, it'll be pretty interesting. I don't think it'll replace ATVs, but hey, it's a fast vehicle, you know. Loot that spawns across Verdansk, so we have the new weapons being added in. That's pretty cool, so you can kind of like rank up your C58 and MG82. The C58 is the new FAL, by the way. Combat bow kill streak has been added to the loot pool. Okay, let me just give out a message, just a little warning message, you know. Do not use the combat bow. It is not worth your time. It is super bad. Do not use it. Okay, self-revive spawn rate has been reduced. Good thing, because self-revive is just... I don't even know why it's in duos, trios, or quads. I feel like this should just be removed in team modes just because you're supposed to rely on your teammates to revive you, you know? Yes, I understand it may be frustrating because randoms, but... 1911 starter handgun now requires 3 hits to gain bonus finisher damage. It's at... Oh my gosh, we're witnessing a paradox. Oh my gosh, Raven actually changed spawn fights. Oh my gosh, let's go. This was a tremendous issue when fighting people off spawn. You try and pick up a gun and then some douche would be riding your and then just smack you down with 2 hits. So it'll now require 3, which should be easier. That's a pretty big leap forward. I can say the same for the snapshot grenades. Reveal duration increased from 1.25 to 2 seconds, and they now are revealed to your team. This is why I haven't used snapshots in team modes. Because snapshots didn't expose enemies to your teammates, it was just not worth using, so I would much rather have like stuns. But for once, we finally might have a tactical worth using over, say, the stuns or frickin' heartbeats. With restock, imagine how many of these you'll be getting. And then custom mods are being saved to Cold War weapons. That's awesome. And then as far as specialist tokens, basically what they're saying is they don't want specialist tokens to be achieved in one specific location, because that was the issue with downtown. Yes, it needed to be the center of attention because it's like the biggest place, but the fact that people went there just to get specialist tokens was... If these get removed, and they most likely are, we might be seeing people go back to Superstore. We may see the specialist token again, perhaps sooner than you might think, but it will be rebalanced in such a way that it offers neither weapon perks nor drops on death. Okay, so I agree with weapon perks, you know, it doesn't offer weapon perks, because having sleight of hand for free, FMJ for free, and focus for free, it was kind of absurd. We already have 3 attachments on Cold War weapons that already do that. So that would be the fast mags, it would be the cavalry lancers, the closest we could get, and then focus is the flinch resistance handles. It was really something that only benefited modern warfare weapons, so you didn't even have to use an attachment slot for sleight of hand or FMJ or focus. Good change, I approve that. What I do not approve though is the fact that it does not drop on death. To me at least, that just takes away the whole balance factor. Even like bad players should still have a chance to use specialist bonuses. Bug fixes. Fixed a dev error with the Carve 2, not that many people use it. Fixed an issue where a player's down movement speed would remain at a slowed state after being partially revived. Yeah, that was a pretty big issue, how down people, like, they would fake a res, but then the guy would move slower. That's a good one. Fixed an issue where pings on enemies would disappear and no audio would play. Okay, that's beautiful. Beautiful job, Raven. This really was a big issue with especially randoms, because if you're lucky they would see the ping but they would not hear it because of this bug. So I'm finally glad Raven's fixing that. And then here's just some UI changes. But now we get into the juicy stuff. The new weapons, MG82. We don't know how good this will be. We could say the same for the FAL, which it says C58, but I bet Activision was censored for that, so they probably had to change the name of the weapon. Nail gun, baseball bat. Okay, that's kind of funny. Imagine the nail gun works like a ballistic knife. I would probably shit myself, but you know, it is what it is. Hell, it even says it's a submachine gun. OTS 9 submachine gun. That's probably going to be added later. So basically here they're telling us that they want to adjust the time to kill. So I agree that the TTK is a big issue because people would die way faster than normal, so adding some escapability to these situations, that would increase the skill gap. It also makes really good aim more rewarding. No longer will you be bailed out by 5 AMAX shots. We'll begin laying out the groundworks for the upcoming balance overhauls with the following adjustments. Alright, so let's see what we got here. AMAX nerf, I approve. Groza buff. The Groza was a pretty weak AR, so I approve. Scar buff, please tell me it's a magazine buff. XM4 buff, that's kind of questionable considering how good the XM4 already is. Amp 63 buff, nobody really uses pistols, so I don't know how this will work. Ballistic knife buff, Much like the pistols, I do not see anyone ever use a ballistic knife. Street Sweeper nerf. Oh my gosh, let's go! Let's go! Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go! Thank God the Street Sweeper will finally be disappearing. The Street Sweeper was way too incredibly dumbly, terrifyingly, stupidly strong. In fact, I'll even go as far as to say that the Street Sweeper was actually better than the Origin in its prime and the R9 with Dragon's Breath in its prime. This is probably the best thing to ever happen in Warzone. Shotgun metas in Call of Duty are the killjoy of killjoys. I am so happy to see this finally get nerfed. Sniper Rifle Charlie buff, that must be the M82. The Swiss is getting a change. I think it needs a buff to its damage and bullet velocity, but you know, Submachine Gun Alpha buff. Is that the AUG from Modern Warfare? Wait, why is the AUG a submachine gun again? Bullfrog is getting a change. We don't know what it'll be. KSP 45 buff. I still wouldn't use the KSP 45 even despite it being buffed. And the reason why is because burst guns are super punishing up close. If you miss a burst, you're pretty much done for. Still though, it is good to see the KSP get some love. Milano 821 buff. I love the Milano 821, so I can't wait to see this get a buff. I mean, the weapon has like no recoil, and sure, it has a slow fire rate. We might see a bit more people using this weapon. Still probably won't matter though, because the Cold War MP5 and the Bullfrog will always be king. We have a Bison buff here. I would still much rather use the Bullfrog. The DMR 14 got super fricked in the Warzone Cold War Season 1 patch. I doubt this weapon will return to its previous form. AMAX, we're seeing a torso nerf. That's actually pretty good because the AMAX did way too much damage. And if this does end up being a pretty big impact, which it seems like it will because the torso is usually hit over the head and neck, we might even see the Krig become better than the AMAX, so boys be ready. Roze buff seems like it's getting a damage buff here. The Groza didn't do as much damage, especially considering how slow it fired, and I do kind of find it funny how it was compared to the FFAR, even though it just fired so much slower, thus resulting in a slower TTK than the FFAR. All in all, a welcome change, but I don't think this will bring this weapon back to the meta. Assault Rifle Golf, that's the Scar. Neck damage increase from 1 to 1.5, upper torso damage increase from 1 to 1.2. It doesn't matter how much you try to buff the Scar's damage, if this thing does not have a capable magazine capacity, this thing will not be meta in the near future. Still should be a fun weapon to use in solos though. And then the XM4 neck damage increase, I don't understand this because the XM4 is already good enough and has this exceptionally well mobility for an assault rifle. This buff has me scratching my head a bit. Handguns, who cares about handguns? Realistically, you should pick up like an overkill class and then get a ghost class. This AMP 63 buff will probably mean nothing. I hope to God we will never see a pistol meta again. We saw how bad it was with the Diamati and then the Saikov pistol, and let's be real, who uses the ballistic knife? Maybe trolls every now and then, but like, no, just no. And ladies and gentlemen, the best nerf of all time, we will not miss the Street Sweeper whatsoever. In fact, I will go as far to say as we will not miss any shotgun meta ever. Sniper Rifle Charlie buff, that's the Cold War Barrett. I don't know, that sniper was kind of weird. At first it fired really fast and people treated it like a DMR, but it was still never like really used. So it seems like Raven is trying to make it more into a real sniper rifle by like decreasing the fire rate and increasing the bullet velocity, and as we see here, increasing the damage. This should make the Barrett a less punishing weapon, but I'm still scratching my head a bit. And then the Swiss K31 is having its scope fixed. Submachine Gun Alpha, that's the AUG. Again, I have no idea why it's a submachine gun, but there you go. Upper torso damage increased from 1 to 1.1, and then maximum damage range increased by 10%. Okay, now I have no problem with this AUG buff. Yeah, this weapon with 9mm rounds just underperformed, but here's the problem. The AUG is still a really good weapon with NATO 5.56 rounds. So if this buff applies not only to the 9mm rounds, but also the 5.56 rounds, we might see a tremendous SMG meta change. A world where the AUG reigns supreme. Do you believe in miracles, kids? And then the Bullfrog is getting its iron sights adjusted. This was a pretty big problem because I had to run optics on the Bullfrog just because of like how the iron sight was positioned. Again, the KSP buff won't mean anything if you miss your bursts, which again, it is very punishing if you miss your bursts up close. In other words, the Cold War MP5 is still the best SMG in this meta. And this is just what the Milano needed. Range buffs and damage buffs. Yes, the weapon was a beamer, but it underperformed due to its low fire rate and low damage. So this damage buff should actually help out the Milano. I still don't think it'll be meta, but at least the Milano will perform a lot better and I'll get to love the weapon much more. Who knows, it might even be a sleeper weapon now. SMG Echo is the Bison. I'm still not concerned about this. I would much rather pick up the Bullfrog, if anything. It doesn't matter what you try and do to the DMR, it is screwed up in every way, shape, and form, especially with the bullet velocity. Once again, I don't think we'll see this weapon return to its former glory. As far as attachment changes go, we have some sniper barrel adjustments, especially with the bullet velocity increases, so this should make Cold War snipers a lot more viable now, which I'm all in on because I would hate to see the Kar 98 and HDR constantly reign supreme over every other sniper for like a really long time. Ranger barrel now increases bullet velocity, increased vertical recoil control. Okay, increased hip spread. Okay. This wasn't really a needed change, but okay, I guess? This leaves us with more questions than answers, if I can be honest. The Ranger barrel is already good enough with its bullet velocity increases, but to buff it like this? But if we combine this with how good the Krig already is, oh boy, we might see a Krig meta soon. Prepare the bunkers, ladies and gentlemen. The meta is probably going to be Krig 6 plus Cold War MP5, especially with this barrel buff. And then we have some other buffs right here, which I'll leave JGod and True Game data up to. And then for optics, we pretty much have the axial arms 3x position like that, Royal and Cross 4x. Okay, that's pretty cool. Bruiser grips aiming stability increase, that's also pretty cool. Cold War snipers especially need a lot of love. And then we have the new operators. By the way, here's the update sizes for those of you who are curious. And that's pretty much it. Again, very sorry I don't have much gameplay going. It's been very stressful trying to deal with real life stuff. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, leave a like. And if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on post noties. And hopefully I can release an Apex or Valorant video, or maybe even a Fortnite video now that the game looks a lot more promising. All in all, I can't wait to see how these changes shift the meta. The season 3 meta was actually really good. In fact, I'll go as far to say as this was the best meta Warzone has ever seen. There wasn't truly a dominant weapon despite the CR56 AMAX looking like one. So at this point, the only real options you have is updating the underperforming weapons. But yeah, can't wait to see how this goes. Alright, see you guys next time. Bye-bye!